Hey, gentlemen, it's Moose.
Well, hey there,
500
hi there,
episodes.
ho there, and
Wow,
it's
what a
time for another
milestone.
fabulous
And y'all
Chubs
saved
Gone
me so
Wild.
much
This is
time. You watch
episode
all the TV shows, so I don't even have to turn the
502,
TV on every week. I so
502
appreciate that. Keep up the
episodes
good work,
2 into
guys.
the
Bye-bye.
new 100.
Hello, Chubbies.
Okay.
Happy 500
It is currently July 10th,
anniversary.
2023,
Okay,
where it is 90
let's
degrees and
tell me
clear
to
outside the Chubs Gone Wild
Lincoln.
studios.
Good Damon.
So is it really 90
Hello,
today?
Matthew and Tom.
Well, it's not 90
I wanted to
yet.
congratulate you
But
both
said it could get up
on
to 90,
500
but then
episodes, 500
tomorrow
wonderful
it'll be up to
shows
94,
of Chubs
95
Gone
on
Wild.
Wednesday,
Now, I don't know if this is your
97 on
last show
Thursday,
or if you guys are just taking a
104
break,
on
but either way,
Friday,
I wanted you to
108
both
or
know
9
how much
on
I
Saturday and
really
Sunday.
appreciate all the work and thought that you put into these 500 shows. And I want to thank you for creating all the wonderful
Get your
content
shit
that you
done
did
early.
and you have so far.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing what's next for both of you. If this is the last show,
It is 56 days
if it's
till
just
Labor
a
Day.
break, yay for all of
96
us.
till Canadian
You guys have been a
Thanksgiving,
constant
113 till
source
Halloween,
of
and 168
inspiration and laughter for me.
days until
And
Christmas.
when I have trouble
So,
sleeping at
you better
night
take
and I'm
advantage
listening
of
to your
Prime Day
podcast,
tomorrow.
I go right to sleep within 15 minutes.
Also,
No,
reminders
that's not
about
to
our
say
Halloween contest. Anyone who
that
sends us
you guys put me to
anything,
sleep. It
email, a
means
Facebook
that I
message,
find
a
both of your
comment,
voices very relaxing and
a
calming,
voice
which
message,
allows me to go to sleep. And if you know my history of not being able to sleep,
a voice
Well, now,
message.
you would
let
know
me
that's a
ask you
good
this.
thing.
Now, is it
On
multiple
another note,
times
when I do
too?
fall asleep, I get to re-download it
just once?
and listen to where I left
Gone for just
off.
once, but, you know, I
And
can
so
keep
each one of
track
your
multiples,
shows
too.
Okay,
lasts me about 3 nights.
Next to the name.
So
because
that's pretty
they're
cool,
just
huh?
letting
I'm getting the most for my
Moses
mileage.
and the Timothy of the
The
world
biggest
have
buck
their
for
way with
the
it.
bang.
So, and Miss Bacon,
So thank you
if
both
they
very
want a
much.
piece of this, they have to be a
All
little more
jokes aside, I
prolific
want
than
to let you
maybe
know
once
that
a year sending something.
I know how much it takes
So, yeah.
to do what you
Okay.
guys have been
Bring
doing
it,
500
girl. So far,
times.
we've got about
And
5.
I don't think that you get told
Well, I know
enough how much
too.
it is appreciated and how much we value everything
So,
that you put into
also
these
a voice
shows.
message.
Thank you so
Send us
much
one
for
to five
500
picks, whatever it is,
wonderful
and we'll be
shows.
entered
Well,
into the year-end contest.
there was that one that was just,
Patreon offers folks.
I don't know, you guys must have been having an
a way
off
to
day. I
support
don't know.
creators and receive rewards
Anyways,
not open to the general
love you
public,
both.
like special podcast videos.
Can't wait to
books,
see
and
what's
more.
next.
And
if it's just a
if you
break,
we want to thank our current
then
patrons, Clint,
have a drink and lots of sex while you're on this break. Love you both. Congratulations on 500 shows.
Charles, Brother Sinead,
Oh, and this has been Michael Sage.
Kingsley, Moose Pete. Please visit patreon.com/Matt Burlingame to see how you can become a supporter of all of our work for as little as $1 a month. All right, well, back in July 10th, 1925, Dayton, Tennessee, the so-called Scopes monkey trial began with John Thomas Scopes, a young high school science teacher, accused of teaching evolution in violation of the Tennessee state law. The law, which had been passed in March, made it a misdemeanor punishable by fine to teach any theory that denies the story of the divine creation of man as taught in the Bible, and to teach instead that man has descended from a lower order of animals. Shame. All right, and now, please join me in taking a deep breath. If you're driving, focus on the road, but repeat after me. I am in a close relationship with a wonderful person who really loves me. What? I was expecting you to say myself, but apparently not. So I don't know who this close relationship is with, but I'm lost. They don't come home. Moving on. I'm depressed now. All right, well, let's see if I can cheer myself up by celebrating a holiday. Here we come.
Okay.
Today is Clarahoo Day. I don't know what the hell that is, but I'm going to look it up. I'm going to see what the heck it is. Oh, it's now, okay. So Edmund Cleroux Bentley, commonly known as E.C. Bentley, was born on today's date. He was a British writer known for Cleroux's four-line biographical poems of a comedic nature and an AABB rhythm scheme. The subject of the poem is usually named in the first line, and other characteristics. So you would say something like, Sir Humphrey Davy abominated gravy. He lived in odium for having discovered sodium.
Oh, it's like there was a young girl from
Ipanema.
Gypsy that, yeah, I know these things. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there we go. So we know what that day is.
Oh, wait, no, there's a young girl with a bucket. Yeah,
oh!
that's always going to lead somewhere good, you know.
Okay, well, it's Don't Step on a Bee Day. I think every day should be that day because we need our bees.
Well, not just that. We should send that up to all of our animal friends too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
International Town Criers Day. I know him.
Yeah, I do too.
Martyrdom of the Bab, which is from the Baha'i calendar. It's National Kitten Day.
Boo.
Are you kidding me? Also, National Pina Colada Day.
Wait, I need to clarify why I hate Kitten Day.
Okay.
It's because they scratch too much.
Oh.
Oh, they're like babies. Well, they are babies, but they're like human babies with those little sharp nails. They don't know what they're doing, and afterwards, it looks like you've had sex with Wolverine.
Oh dear. Well, that's why you have to put the little mittens on them, like you have to do with pigs after they're born to keep their feet warm.
Okay.
Also, National Pina Colada Day. Pick blueberry.
Wait. Aren't you going to ask it?
If you like pina coladas.
I do.
They're okay. I've had a couple that are good. How about
and the nice thing is they're good even non-alcoholic.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
So how about picking blueberries in the rain?
What's that from?
Oh well, actually it's Pick Blueberries Day.
Oh, well, see, that's a real East Coast thing. We don't have blueberries in the abundance they do on the East Coast, which sucks because it's my favorite berry. So, I mean, outside of Manilow, it's my favorite berry.
Barry Humphries. All right.
No.
Okay.
Not that conservative guy, no.
Yeah. Also, it is Teddy Bear Picnic Day. Ever been on a teddy bear picnic?
Of course.
Oh, okay. I don't think I have.
Figures.
I was on a Snoopy picnic day because I had a Snoopy growing up. All right. Today's birthday is happy birthday to Sean, the actor who we worked with in. Why can't I ever remember that damn show?
You wrote it.
No, this is
not written on the film?
No, this is the Del Shores one.
Okay,
it's the first one. Yeah, it's the one with the three women and for some reason I can never remember the damn name of it.
Yeah, I can see the cast, both of them.
Yeah. Anyway, so we worked with him and he was brilliant and adorable and just amazing. Anyway, also to Patricia, who was our Countess Dracula in our second production of Countess Dracula. Literally saw her, one of our crew members saw her walking on the street and said, "Hey, have you ever thought of being in a show?" And then she became one of our leads. Also, happy birthday to Sean. And
another
one? Our patron, Sean.
Oh, okay.
Yes, happy birthday. We also have happy birthday to local actor Jerry Lee, who is actually now running He's the artistic director of one of the big theaters like in Sonoma. Crazy.
Big theaters in Sonoma?
Well, I'm trying to remember because I write about it all the damn time. It's a Sierra Rep.
Oh, okay.
Sierra Rep train. I think they're in Sonoma. Also to Ari, John, Christopher, Paul, Spencer, Luke, Derek, our local Derek, who was almost Paperclip, the lead in Paperclip Messiah. So, our chiropractor.
Really?
Also, yeah, he auditioned, and I mean, it was so close. Okay, also to author Layla Doreen, to the Twinkle Boy Toby, Gary Bonsignor, Bonsignor. Okay, him. Anthony. So Anthony Carbajal, if you remember him, he was on Ellen. He was one of the people who was really big in the ALS information front because he actually had ALS. And we followed him for quite some time. Also to Robert E.T., Anita, Robin, Joe, formerly Manhandle in Montana, and to Eric, who is another patron. There's some great patron birthdays coming up soon. All right, everyone. Well, let's just jump back over here and see what we can get into. That's right. It's time for our feedback, and Sean wrote in, and he said, I rarely eat breakfast. Definitely prefer lunch and or dinner. I agree.
Yeah, breakfast. Well, actually, since I've been getting up extra early, I've been kind of eating an early, let's call it an early lunch, because I don't want cereal. I don't want, like a big bacon, eggs, and, hash browns kind of thing. Pancakes. That's dinner food. I'm sorry, that's too heavy for breakfast. I'd never get going.
Well, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. You're supposed to eat a big breakfast and then small everything else. It doesn't work for me. The biggest breakfast that I make is I make French toast for my mother on Sunday. All right, what's next? Oh, we have some Chub Hugs. Do you have some Chub Hugs that you would like to send out?
Only to everyone that's affected by what we're going to be affected this week with the heat. Across the nation, they've all the deniers are sitting there going, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to cool off one of these days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good luck on that.
Yes, the hottest week so far, I believe, that has been recorded in 125,000 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, last week it was Sunday was registered as the hottest day ever on Earth. And then Monday was the hottest day ever recorded on Earth. And then it was Tuesday. Tuesday was the hottest day ever recorded on Earth. But then Wednesday beat that. And Thursday beat that. And Friday, I'm not sure if it beat the record or not.
I don't know, but it's pretty fucking scary. And we just have a bunch of dumbasses in the government stopping us from trying to do anything about it. So,
yeah,
I don't know what to say. Anyway, I want to send some Chub Hugs out to all of our friends who have been affected by bad news and such lately, and a couple of our dear, very close friends who went through some big shit this weekend, and we just want to send them some huge love and Chub Hugs. All right, well, let's jump into some celebrity news. Well, it turns out Ricky Martin and his husband Juan Joseph, The twosome who wed in 2018 announced their split on July 6th. And we have decided to end our marriage with love, respect, and dignity for our children and honoring what we have experienced as a couple all these years. They noted, asserting that they were maintaining a healthy family dynamic moving forward.
Well, they got how many kids? Is it just 2 or 3?
Oh, I have no idea. I didn't even remember that they had them.
Oh yeah, they got kids.
I remember that what's his name, who's doing the Drag Me to Dinner show.
Drag me to dinner.
Yeah, Neil Patrick Harris and his husband. I know that they have the 2 twins because I've seen them on their little shows. But
you mean like Drag Me to Dinner?
No, I have not seen that yet, but I know that it's ending soon and I will probably binge it. So
well, they were all there.
Oh, okay. Because they had some tour of the house a long time ago, and then they had an episode of one of the shows on Netflix where they revamped the kids' room, and the kids were all just loving it so much and everything. But yeah, it was basically one of those things where the husband was blah, 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 and Neil just sat in the back throwing out quips here and there. So anyway. Well, that's sad, but Ricky Martin is now back on the market for anybody that wants him. Yeah, we'll go there. All right, we did have some celebrity deaths. George Tickner, a co-founding member of the original rhythm guitar of Journey, died July 5th. He was 76. And Coco Lee, the Hong Kong singer-songwriter who voiced Mulan in the Mandarin version of the Disney classic and was featured in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon and Runaway Bride soundtracks, died by suicide July 5th. She was 48. And now Tom wants to talk to you about...
Okay, well, just want to let everyone know I'm officially cable free.
Yay!
Got
the cord. Oh.
It's day 3.
Yeah.
And my days are not any different than the only thing I don't have is just the news to sit on, with it on, just so there's noise while I'm doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
But I can go on to, it's interesting. I can go on to MSNBC and listen to and watch shows on there online, or on streaming. And the local station, there's a thing called Very Local that has the Channel 3 news, which is NBC here in town, which is what I usually watched. But then if I want to watch, I can go to the antenna and watch CBS, Fox, ABC News, even, what is it, 36, all the little variation channels that we have. And it's really weird because when you're on cable, there's something called, I think it's called Grimm, and all they play is it looks like Westerns.
Oh, so, yeah. I think that may be one of the ones my father used to love to watch.
Yeah. So, but they all have commercials on them. So it's like a nightmare. We are going to switch over to Peacock without commercials, which also offers a live Channel 3 in Sacramento. So there I got my NBC back. So yeah, it's like I'm not really missing anything except the convenience of the DVR. But if it's not live television, I can watch it anytime I want on streaming. Right. So it's really, I can see where it's a conflict for a lot of people. But if they just sat down and really looked at what they do with cable, they could easily do the same thing with streaming. It's kind of like with the Tesla. The Tesla, you don't really use the brake because the gas, or not the gas, the ignition, the pan, where you push, the normally would push the gas, you're pushing the battery to make you go faster. And when you let your foot off the battery, it breaks the car you don't really need the brake except when you're switching gears. So it's a complete different thing, but it's really easy to get over. Once you break that thing in your head, you're done. Same thing with cable. It's just a different way of getting your sources at more than half the price, or less than half the price. Because we're getting, we're still getting the Wi-Fi, but the cable stuff, the cable TV that people are paying hundreds of dollars for, I'm getting just about every streaming service for like less than $80. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And if Sean wants to watch some football game or something that's network oriented, we have those on antenna, so we're set.
All right. Well, you also have ESPN and stuff too, right?
We have ESPN, but that's not going to hold everything. So, but we'll see what happens. Comes the new hockey year, because it's hockey and football and basketball all start up pretty much at the same time. So we'll see well, football's next month, early football, but then the others two start in October. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Who cares? I don't want to watch them. Let's see. We'll be talking about RuPaul later. Drag Me to Dinner. They had a sleepover. This was they had a sleepover like one was Alice in Wonderland sleepover, and the other one was like a sleepaway camp. And Brian goes, did they do it the same way as sleepaway camp? And I go, no, but they did a sleepover at camp is what they were doing. Although if you know the movie Sleepaway Camp, a few hidden penises that you didn't know were there is kind of standard, so that's fine. That works. But it was fun. Still can't get in to finish. Still can't get in to finish the Queen of the Universe, but I'm watching. I'm keeping watch on it. It's weird. Still tells me I have to buy it, and I'm like, no, I don't, and stop saying that. But it doesn't listen to me when I yell at it. Also, Dancing Queens, which is about the ballroom dancers. It's finally getting a little more bitchy, which is what I was hoping for.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just, they're all being very civil to each other, and now they're talking about, how, oh yeah, she comes in, she changes from being under, I think it's under 40, and now she's in the 40 up group, or maybe it's 50, and she thinks she can just run away with it. Well, we'll see what happens. And the fat girl is like going, they're not going to give me a good rating because they think I'm too heavy to be dancing, even though I'm better than all of these other bitches. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
Drag ballroom dancing.
Oh yeah, it's basically all it is. It's I mean, these girls want to win bad. On Glamorous, we're still keeping up with Glamorous. They're doing a line called Pride, and I was telling Brian that normally your big makeup companies don't do those kind of things because they don't want to be known as drag queen makeup.
Right.
But they're going to do it, and they're celebrating with drag queens. Because if anybody puts on makeup and knows how to put it on right, it's drag queens. Well, outside of some, the drag queens know how to put on, makeup better than a lot of women. As a matter of fact, Miss Universe just was won by a transgender queen.
Okay.
For the first time. And it's like, yeah, sure. Which goes to prove that if you really want to be pretty, you have to start off being a man. And then, no, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Send the letters to me. I'm joking.
Tom and ChubsGW502.
Anyway, on The Bear, we haven't finished the whole thing yet because they dropped the whole season. I was surprised. They dropped the whole season, but there's an extra special Christmas episode. And this takes place a year before the current season. And it's when one of the characters, the brother that ran the restaurant before he died, And so we get to see him, and we get to see the dynamics of the family. And oh my goodness, you think you've got, a fun family on Christmas. Jamie Lee Curtis plays the main character's mother, and she is having some problems on Christmas. She's drinking, she's smoking, she's obviously bipolar. I mean, I don't know what all is wrong with her, but there's a lot. And Jamie Lee Curtis is going, stand back, kids, I'm going for the Emmy now. And which she did. She just tore the shit out of that role. And it was great. And the ending of the episode, which I told Brian and I probably shouldn't have said it, but the end of the episode was fantastic. And the thing is that even though it's horrible, like the sister is pouring out all the alcohol when no one's looking because everyone's getting more drunk and more abusive and more abrasive and more ugly. And it's just, I don't know how your Christmas is, but if somebody isn't crying pretty quick, then it's not Christmas yet.
Oh yeah, it's usually the kids that do that. I'm lost. What show movie is this?
The Bear.
Okay, you know what? I even saw a preview in the theater yesterday for that.
Oh.
Everybody's talking about it. So
yeah, so this is the second season, and it's already let out, so you can binge through. Brian didn't like it because he thought that it was all too angry and negative, and I'm thinking, you didn't like it for that reason?
Yeah, I mean, okay, source.
That's confusing. But when he comments, and I go, it's called conflict, and he goes, well, it's not the kind of conflict I want to see. Okay, that's fair enough.
It's just,
but it's the kind of conflict that I love to see. So, let's see, the Great Food Truck Race. It's been really fun. It's much more backstabby, talk behind your back kind of stuff, where it has not been that way before. I'm sure that the producer said, ooh, so how do you feel about them winning this time? Does that bother you? Because, they said shit about you. I'm sure they're doing that. They don't say that, but they're talking shit about each other. And before, everyone's kind of rallying around, hoping we don't want to lose, but we don't want anyone to really have bad time. Though they do on this season, they want bad times. It's kind of fun, but also you kind of feel bad. The Righteous Gemstones, which is back on Max, HBO and Max. This is John Candy plays the father of a religious organization, rich religious organization. They're the family, the Gemstones. They're like what was it? The Bakers, kind of like the Bakers. Last night's episode talked about how they were selling Y2K buckets. And at $49.99, get your Y2K buckets. You don't know how long we're going to be without power. We don't know how long we're going to be, So they were talking about, it was a past episode, a flashback episode, and they made John Goodman look like he was 35 years old. Oh my God. And I'm thinking, okay, so that technique of, because they did it with Indiana Jones at the first 20 minutes of Indiana Jones, and you're going, how expensive is that? It must be. I mean, if they're doing it on the Righteous Gemstones, I can't imagine it being like $1 zillion to do. So it's got to be the filter or whatever they do has got to be pretty cheap now. So because it was just crazy how young he looked. He was so. I mean, he looked like. A little older than the Revenge of the Nerds coach he played, just a little bit older, but yeah. So, but what's happening is they've got some cousins that it's actually John Goodman's sister, played by Third Rock from the Sun, funny lady, also on Mom.
Curtin?
What?
Jane Curtin?
No, also on Mom. there was another woman on Third Rock from the Sun. She was an alien. She was the sister.
Oh, her. Oh, she was also on an episode of Charm.
Oh, great. Well, that's great. She did a guest role.
I don't know her name, but yeah, I know exactly.
Anyway, so she plays the sister, and her family is just terrible. They're awful, and they have stolen a bunch of fertilizer from John Goodman's acreage, because they have this huge, acres and acres and acres. So they've got this one building filled with fertilizer, which they are going to blow up something with now. So we don't know what it is. But it's still a comedy. Let's see, on Claim to Fame, this season 1, I just found out season 2 is out there now, and 2 episodes in, and I've got to catch up now. But the last 2 we saw was Al Sharpton's daughter and Tiffany Haddish's sister. They were the claim to famers. They were famous only because of the person in their life. So
yeah, not that famous with me.
Yeah. Let's see. I did see a movie, Megan, over on Prime. So if you have Prime, it's free. You probably already saw it on Peacock when it was free on Peacock, but it's free now on Prime. About a woman who's a scientist. She's trying to create a robot that'll be the perfect doll for a child. So when her sister and brother-in-law are killed, she gets custody of their daughter. And so she uses her as, I don't really want to call it bait, but she uses her with the doll, and the doll is like an AI. It learns, it knows, it walks, it talks, and it's there to protect the girl at all costs. Okay, that's the problem. We can't let the doll be too smart that she protects the girl by killing people, but she does. And so, I think the movie was fun. It was missing a lot of substance. I don't know. It was good. I mean, it was fun to watch, but it could have been better. And I think the second one, because at one point somebody steals the plans for the doll for another company, but so the one company knows, don't make this doll. But another company is probably going to mass produce it, and there's going to be killer dolls everywhere. It'll be so much fun. So expect that probably next year for Halloween. Although I hear that Halloween is going to be a big day for Megan costumes anyway. So gay men are going to be dressing up like her.
I'm sure.
Also saw that Tom Segura, the new stand-up he has called Sledgehammer. And it's so funny because Tom Segura just lost, he's over the last couple of years, he's lost a lot of weight. So he's talking just it's a whole update on where he is now. He's a very funny guy. He talks about how Brad Pitt came to one of his shows, and now he could easily be gay. For Brad Pitt, he could be gay. I'm sure there's a lot of men that probably feel that same way. I would do it.
Huh.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, nobody had to even ask you.
Yeah. Well, I gave him a really good review back in the 80s when he was before Thelma and Louise. He made a movie, and I screened it ahead of time, and I said, I don't give a shit about this movie, but who is this Brad Pitt, and why aren't we seeing more of him? And when the movie actually finally came out, he had a much bigger role than he had beforehand, because I'm sure I wasn't the only one that went, and of course that came out after Thelma and Louise. And because he had actually made the movie I saw beforehand, but Thelma and Louise came out because it had 2 big stars in it.
Right.
And this one came out because he was also in Thelma and Louise. And you know how that works.
Yeah.
And then I saw 2 plays, musicals on stage this week. I saw Rogers, the musical, which is the Steve Rogers musical that's playing at California Adventure right now in Disneyland.
Oh.
Or actually Disney California Adventure.
Hmm.
At the place known as Disneyland.
Okay.
It's a 40-minute musical about the life of Steve Rogers and how he became Captain America.
Huh. That's
So
interesting.
And then I saw Avenue Q, which was a really, really good version of it. Really well filmed as well.
Yeah.
In a little theater somewhere, I don't know where it was, but they're both on YouTube right now. And Avenue Q I like better than the Steve Rogers musical. I'm sorry, it was. I'm sure it would be great on a cruise ship, about 4 nights in, and you're just would kill for an entertainment. Okay, here we go. We saw Tangled last night. Hercules is the other night, and now we're going to see the Rogers musical. So, and it's fine. It's cute. It's what it is. But I wouldn't drive down to Disneyland strictly to see that.
Right.
But that's me. Other than that, my tomatoes are looking like shit because it's been either too cold or too hot. And I think they're actually getting to the point where my tomatoes are going, oh, that's it for us, right? We're done. Summer's over.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we'll see if this weekend with all the heat gets them any more traction, but I've got a feeling they may be at the end. So let's talk about what we both watched.
Okay.
You did see RuPaul's Drag Race, right?
I did.
Okay.
And let's see, this was the lesbian makeover one. And I thought that was really cool. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that got me is that they basically, there's 3 of them left. Candy has who she wants to go home because she was the top one, and yes, and so I mean that's good. She deserved it. So she has who she wants to go home, and then she has to lip sync against the lip sync assassin, who has what the group does. Well, the group can only vote against each other. I mean, except for show, because they had to have one last lip sync thing. It's going to be whatever Candy wants anyway.
So
why even bother with it?
Really?
Anyway, I mean, it is for the show, but I mean, when you've got that predetermined, whoever Candy picks anyway, you might as well just left it at that and done something else. But anyway.
Oh, that's like watching, Charmed. Well, they're both all 3 of them are going to be alive at the end of the show. So why are we even watching it?
Exactly.
Okay, I get it. I get what you're saying now.
So
okay.
Okay. Don't be defensive. I understand
you're
for
trying
the
to cut the show down. You're trying to cut the show down. I don't understand that.
I'm just saying.
Mm?
I had a little issue with it. Anyway, so Candy and Jimbo were the top choices, and because Candy said, she wanted Jimbo to stay, and she sent home Alexis, and rightly so. What?
Jessica Wilde.
I don't know. They all blend, girl.
No, they don't. One's Hispanic, the others,
It had nothing to do with Hispanic. They're all drag queens. I won't remember them a year from now.
Okay.
So no, I'm kidding.
So on The Bachelorette, let's talk about that because you're done talking about.
So anyway, she chose Jimbo, and I think she made the right choice. But my question to you.
No, she made the wrong choice.
Well, exactly. That's why I'm saying, do you think that the producers had kind of a little hand in it and said, look, bitch, you really think that she decided to take Jimbo?
Well, I found out that they're really close friends.
Oh.
And so, it's like you want to screw over your really close friend for somebody that you just met, who you can win against. But you know what? If she picked Jessica Wilde, everybody would give her shit for that.
And that's
and I would, I'm thinking I'd much rather get shit over picking the person that's ultimately going to beat me than pick the person that had no chance of winning at all, and me looking like, oh, well,
Like
then why even bother? It's not a competition, is it? It's hater shit is what it is. People need something to bitch about.
Well, it was a very interesting choice. I'm looking forward to seeing those two go head to head.
Oh, me too. By the way, online, it's about 70% for Jimbo, 25% for Candy. Yeah. Because most people don't like Candy because she's a bitch.
Right. And I mean, I don't dislike her. I did in the beginning, but I mean, like when I first saw her in her first season, I didn't like her. But now, I don't know. I kind of have to respect it.
You kind of warm up. I mean, that's her thing, and if it works for her, it does. And it does. That's why Rue kept her on the first time. And that's why Rue brought her back on the All-Stars, because she gets views, she gets likes, and she gets dislikes. And, sometimes dislikes are more powerful than likes.
True. And yet I like her so much more than, do you remember a couple of years ago with that one, oh gosh, now we're Riri, Dee, I don't know, some damn thing. She was just the nastiest little, ugh.
Brian?
What's that?
Brian?
Yes. Now, Brian would be somebody they'd bring back just because he would be so horrible on the show.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Then we go on to The Bachelorette. So this was a good episode. They had the volleyball. What?
It was kind of a good episode.
Okay.
It had its pluses and its minuses.
Well, one of the minuses was they brought back those two idiots from The Bachelorette last season.
And it took the joy out of that entire episode. I mean, that entire section.
They are the fakest. And the thing is I don't even know if they really are being fake, if that's really them, but that's just so annoying.
They're just, I mean, when they go, oh, look who's here. It's Rachel and it's Gabby, and it's like, fuck.
And Gabby is oh my God, and Gabby. I'm a neuroscientist.
Rachel's the one that bothers me.
Oh yeah, no, Rachel, because Gabby, she's just ditzy, but the thing is she's not. She's actually like really smart. She's a freaking scientist.
Well, that doesn't mean she's not stupid. Because I've seen really smart people who couldn't figure out how to like pull open a door, but they can, they can cut the atom in half, but they can't, fucking the toilet. Yeah, I mean, and she's one of those. She's just, and she's, oh God, remember when she was like freaking out and
when is anybody ever going to love me? I am unlovable. I'm like, no, girl, you're not unlovable. You're just weird.
Yeah,
but Rachel is the one I just can't stand.
Right, and that's the thing. Rachel's the worst of the two, but Gabby's is easier to make fun of.
Yeah, that actually good point. Yeah. So they had the beach volleyball thing in cold weather. They were all freezing and they were in their little jocks.
Well, you don't know what he broke them up into teams. Jesse breaks them up into teams and then says, oh, by the way, so we know who's on which team. You'll need to wear this bikini brief, which was very tiny. I think it was green and yellow or something like that. Green and pink. And it was neon green and neon pink.
Yeah.
And that they didn't. Did you watch the closing credits?
I think so. Yeah.
Where they said, we've got shavers over there if you need.
Oh, yes.
Take out, unneeded hair.
Yeah.
Basically crotch hair coming up from, because the thing was very low. It was very low. So, so that was gross. Because shaving off hair, I've got to listen to Rachel and Gabby talk, and it's cold as fuck out there. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it looked like it could have been a lot of, drag queens tucking by the way it looked.
Yes.
There were no balls. There was no dicks.
Well, and they made them wear cups too. So
there was no room.
I know, I was thinking the same thing. And then of course one of them was shooting his mouth off about a bunch of stuff. But Braden is just such an asshole.
Well, no, that's because you haven't gone to the second challenge yet.
Okay, so there's a third episode out already?
No, there's another challenge in the same fucking episode. Are you even watching this? The longest kiss, 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
That thing.
That's what Braden was bitching about.
That out.
That's what Braden was bitching about.
Braden needs to shut the fuck up because he's just a little bitch. Anyway, yeah, he annoys me.
Well, yeah, he annoys.
What did you think of The Longest Kiss?
Oh no, that whole thing grosses me out.
I just thought it was like so unnecessary.
It was gross.
Not even unnecessary. Like, I don't want to say it grossed me out, but I was just like, seriously?
And by the way, that's where Rachel and Gabby were. That's
why I blocked it out.
Not the beach challenge. So yeah, it was gross. And I understand. No, I will give Braden. I understand. I hate watching. And this started a few years ago where it used to always be you get a little, maybe on the first night, and then later on in the season it might get a little heavier. But now it's just like, it's like the fucking. I mean, even Charity, who I love, has had more tongues in her mouth in the last week than she has in her entire life.
Yeah,
and it's gross. It's really gross because all I can think about is one of these fuckers has herpes, and now everybody has herpes. Oh, what did you get from the Bachelorette? Herpes. Yeah. Oh, that's nice. That's great. But yeah, so the kissing thing is disgusting. Okay, I didn't mind Braden the first night with a couple of the earrings that he had on, but I'm sorry, but feathers and dream catchers and pearls, and it's getting all too much.
Well, and I mean, imagine the sack. I mean, he's probably got one suitcase dedicated to just his jewelry, and normally stuff like that doesn't bother me, but when you're watching it within this short of a span and he's got new ones on every 5 minutes.
Well, remember Jesse made
they don't suit him, and that's one of the things is they don't suit him.
Well, like the scarf he wore in the morning.
I really was like, okay, is he bi? Is he
trying to be weird?
Yeah, I think that's what I was really thinking.
He's trying to be unique, I think, is what's going on, and it's
just coming off as.
You're just putting too much effort into this.
Did you notice how they buried? I knew his name too. The guy with came out. I have a kid. You can kick me in the crotch. The one that everybody, because I looked him up online, and there was tons of sites that were all like, "What's wrong with blah blah blah?" from the Bachelorette.
Yeah, because he's on the spectrum.
Yeah, but they never said. They just said, "Oh, half the women thought he was, on the spectrum and felt sorry for him, and half the women just thought he was disgusting or no creepy," and like whatever. But anyway,
yeah, I do. By the way.
But the thing is they buried him as much as they could. He got maybe a couple seconds of screen time here and there, and then they kicked him off.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's what you got to do to people that don't fit into the parameter of the show.
Right.
And I get that. And I mean, honestly, I was surprised she let him go. They didn't let him go the first night.
Yeah, I was a little bit too, but I thought they probably wanted to keep him on just to try to pretend that they weren't like, oh shit, we made a weird choice with this one.
Well, no, I think what they were trying to do was to make it look like, okay, they're just throwing him in there to vote him off.
Yeah. And there are several of them that were voted off that I was like, yeah, they just threw them in there to vote him off. And I still think there's one or two of them that are only there to just cause the drama. Anyway, did you watch any more Chinese Born American?
I have finished it.
Oh yay! What'd you think?
It was good. I think I needed to watch it more than just once a week.
Mm-hmm.
And like watch them, like this was one that could have been binged a little more.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want to say I lost interest, but there just wasn't enough. There's one big storyline and all these little teeny ones, and you kind of forgot those until they reminded you. And believe me, I was watching the recap each week.
Yep.
Because I didn't. Oh, that's right. The whole monkey thing. Okay, that's right. So, but at the end, they left it with a. Is this the end?
I did not like that part of the ending.
Girl, they all do that.
Yes, but to an extent where you can at least feel comfortable, like, okay, if this doesn't come back, it does a decent ending. But the whole dun dun dun, and then I don't know. It was a little too heavy-handed. It almost felt like how you get half of a season and yet don't realize that you're only getting half the season, and then there's going to be a second half of the season. So you have to
like The Witcher,
and then wait 6 months. I'll get to that. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, I really liked a lot of the casting choices, and it was just one of those shows where I'm like, oh yeah, I watched that, but I didn't get the love out of it that I was hoping for.
Okay.
Yeah. And it hit a lot of the Disney points, but it just didn't click.
Well, I think the kid who was the son of the sage that came to the school was too weird to follow.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be like hundreds of years old, I think, too. And
yeah,
it's like you didn't mature at all in that amount of time. Yeah. And also, why did they have to do everything on the soccer field at the end of the thing? Like, what was the point? Because like they're all like, oh, it's going to take place at the soccer field, and like all the different groups and even the bad guys start running to the soccer field. I'm like, why? What is there that's gonna? You already have the thing. You don't need to go to the soccer field.
But that's where the opening was above the soccer field.
I guess. I thought they opened the opening. Anyway, Deadlock, the Aussie detective crime show with lots of lesbianic action.
Now, is it New Zealand or is it Australia?
I'm not sure, actually. Okay. I should look that up while you say how much.
Well, I'm only to episode. Wait, you're at 7. I
finished it.
Oh, you finished it? Okay, yeah, I haven't finished. I still have 2 more episodes to go. But they end every episode with a big cliffhanger.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. It's not a cliffhanger, but we get a new piece of evidence that's huge in the storyline. Not really a cliffhanger, but it's like, are you sure you don't want to watch another one?
Right.
Don't you want to find out who they mean?
Okay.
And I do have my thoughts on stuff, but I'm going to hold my tongue on that.
Okay, then I will wait until you finish it, because I finished it last night, or no, the night before, and I was very happy with the ending. So I will wait till you're done. And it's Australia. I looked it up.
Okay.
And then Marvel's Secret Invasion. We're up to episode 3.
Yeah, it's I'm almost thinking again, I need to watch this in a binge, because it's just very strange. And then once again, here we've got, Samuel L. Jackson looking all young. They do a lot. Of course, they probably started on him, come to think about it, because they always, he's in all the Marvels, and I think they've made backstory reference many a time on him.
Yeah.
But so I really, like I said, I should probably watch at least a couple episodes at a time, but they are coming out once a week. Do we know how long this is? It is a 6-week.
I have no idea. Probably.
I'll look it up while you start your
okay. So I watched the first episode and was kind of like, eh. Then of course, obviously, I waited at least 2 weeks because I watched back to back the episodes 2 and 3, and I was actually into it enough by the end of 3 that I was kind of disappointed there wasn't another episode. Yeah, it was 3, I think. It's I don't know. It's what do you call it? What's that other show that I don't? It's just it's Jack Ryan with aliens and more fun people because it's got Olivia Colman in it, who I just love. But it's just if you took out the aliens, you could be watching just a regular show. So it's okay. It's just okay.
Okay, it's 6 episodes.
Okay, so we got 3 more to go, and they're killing. I don't remember. I mean, this is kind of like the Marvel Defenders, where those were very violent and bloody, and they were just killing people left and right. And usually in the Marvel ones, I mean, yes, people get killed, but they usually don't make it as like, it's kind of like, well, they're kind of kills, but.
Well, I think they realize just how much fun it is to watch, like the Renfield bloody deaths.
Yeah, but but they're doing that. Well, I don't want to do any spoilers for people, but they've knocked off some really good, like pivotal. Anyway, I will keep watching it and probably at the end of it be like, wow, that was really good. Okay. Is there anything else that we're co-watching?
Witcher.
So you are watching Witcher 2?
Well, we're a couple episodes in. I'm sure you're all set for the 27th.
Oh, is it going to be the 27th when they dump the rest of them?
Well, that's what it says when you go to the website.
I didn't bother looking. I just figured I'd get an announcement when it finally dropped. So, Witcher Season 3, which, yes, is divided into 2 parts, which I did not know. I was thinking, 5 episodes, I can do that. Anyway, it to me was better than the other 2 seasons, at least because it was making sense. It wasn't jumping around through time. You didn't know where the fuck you were, all that stuff. This one, it's like, okay, I know where we are. I know who.
Good guy, bad guy. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. You're not like confusing it with other shows that you're watching at the same time.
Well, that's because we don't have 3 other shows just like it, like we did last
Circle
season.
Of Time. Yeah.
Oh, but, that was terrible. That was terrible last year.
Yeah.
They all came out the same fucking month.
Yep.
And I lost track of what was what.
So I'm really liking it. And then I had said that I liked it on one of the social media apps, and somebody else is like, they didn't do anything. It was boring. I'm like, I didn't think it was boring.
Did you watch season 2?
No. Oh, talking about boring. You can have a lot of action and still be boring, which I'll mention later. So I'm liking it, but I'll be glad when it ends. I'm watching it to watch it at this point. And I don't know if I will be sad that Henry Cavill is leaving or not. I don't care. I like all the characters, but I just don't care about The Witcher. He shows up and he does some sword play and gets people out of trouble, but otherwise the other characters are way more interesting. Right. Okay. I'm watching a lot of David Pakman. lately.
Well,
And
you know who the new Witcher is going to be, right?
no, who?
Liam Hemsworth.
I mean, not that I'm knocking it. I like him, but I'm like, how are they getting these movie stars to do this? They must be paying up.
Well, is he considered a movie star?
Well, he was in Ghostbusters and different things like that.
Liam Hemsworth.
Yes.
No, that was his brother in Ghostbusters.
That was not. You're not talking about Thor.
Yes.
Thor's name is Chris Hemsworth.
Correct. And he was in Ghostbusters. Liam Hemsworth was in the one with that they're remaking right now, Earlier Age. I just saw a preview on it too. The one with Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh yeah. Mockingbird, the fire starter, that one. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Hunger Games.
Okay, cool. All right, Liam Hemsworth. Yeah. Independence Day, Hunger Games. Wow, okay. The Dressmaker, the last song. Huh. Well, I don't know why I got them confused, but oh well. Okay,
because their last name is Hemsworth?
No, I was thinking they're both gorgeous, and yeah.
Oh no, he's not as good. Liam's not as good looking as his brother.
He's lovely. It's very lovely. Okay, so I've been watching a lot of David Pakman, his political show over on YouTube. And if you want a easily digestible left to mid range show, he's very good, very good. So I did get to watch some Young Sheldon. I think we are up to season 4 or season 5. I think we began season 5. It's such a freaking good show. I'm constantly, and the characters are all in depth now, and they're doing these really good, deeper storylines, but still keeping it really fun. So I'm just really enjoying it. I did get to watch the 4 episodes that are released of And Just Like That, which is the Sex and the City sequel, and it is even better than it was last season. In fact, and these, like, the characters have hit their stride. They're dirty fun, and they've got that, like, the characters that in the first season felt like they were kind of pushing the diversity to the point where you're like, okay, can we have just a storyline now and not make it about the diversity of the characters? All the characters are set in and you like them all. So just really, and there's what's her name? The one who plays Miranda. She is so good in this season, and she's been naked so much. Anyway, it's just a really fun show. So if you like the Sex and the City stuff, or if you liked And Just Like That, this season is even better than last season. And this season they will be having a cameo from Kim Cattrall from Glamorous, which she didn't really talk about Glamorous. Okay. And then I watched in the new Indiana Jones movie. Saw that yesterday, and the action was really good. I mean, the acting was really good. I love that they brought back so many characters for guest spots and different things. But during the slower points of it, I was kind of nodding off a little bit. I don't know. I think it was a really good tribute to the series and a really good end to the series. But there were a few parts that dragged a little bit and kind of lost me. So, but once that action picked back up, there I was. Anyway.
Did you like the twist?
At the very end, the twist.
You don't know what the twist was? You may have missed it. You might have dozed off. But we'll talk after the show. I don't want to ruin it for anybody.
Okay, that's cool. But probably that I loved it. I won't just say that I loved it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I loved it.
Yes, I loved it all. All right, let's get into Miss Manners in texts. Dear Miss Manners, when texting or emailing friends or clients, I often start with "Good morning" or "How are you?" and end with "Have a great day." I often get short, right to the point answers back like, "Okay." And they don't usually start with "Good morning" or end with "Have a good day." So sometimes I sarcastically reply, "Good morning" to me too, which I know people don't like. Am I being too sensitive?
Yes.
I am old school, and I think people are being rude. They can say a little more than "be there" or something like that. Maybe my expectations is too high, and I won't expect as much anymore.
I'd say your expectations are too high. Don't expect this much anymore.
Well, yeah. If it's people that you know well.
No, even if it's not. The fact is that texting is the whole idea of texting is that it's supposed to be short and precise. It's not supposed to be long, boring texts.
Oh, she says texts or emails. Now, for emails...
Emails are different. You set them up like a letter, but a text is K. You can put K on there. If you go, "Hey, we're all set for this," K. I've gotten that, and it pisses me off, but it's what the whole texting is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a quick way of someone to respond to what you've just asked or said. That's all. Now, if you want, I think you can't compare emails and texts. I think that's
what she's
comparing. What was it? The Pony Express with an email. It's ridiculous. They're not the same thing. Go ahead.
Did you know they actually did a study that people that use proper punctuation and capitals and stuff like that with texting, that it is more disconcerting and
takes twice as long
to the readers? Well, yes, but the people that receive those texts regard them as more intimidating or stuffy or unlikable.
The problem I have with texts, and I'm not even going to deal with emails, are just like letters. Fuck them. Okay, but texts you have, it's like I figured that when I'm reading a text, sometimes I got to read it 3 or 4 times to figure out what the fuck these people are talking about. Half the people are using the
voice to text, yeah.
And the others are actually just very poor with thumbs, I guess. I don't know, but it's all very awful, and that you just got to you got to hope for the best when you get a text. And because I've read something and then answered, and they go, "Why did you say that?" And I went and read it again and completely misread the text. Sometimes because there is no grammar, there's no comma, there's no period. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Look, you're saying "there," and you're spelling it out, but there's no. There's no. What do you call the one with a comma on top? I'm forgetting.
Yeah.
Like in "don't."
Like apostrophe.
Is that apostrophe? No,
that's contraction.
Whatever it is, that thing. Yeah. They don't include it, so I'm thinking, okay, are they saying "don't"? Is that what they're doing, or was this another word that just the spell check decided that's what they meant? because that's sometimes it can be that. And so, so yeah, I mean, I think this woman, if she's worried about texts, she's got a bigger problem. Honey, this is life now. What are you going to do when your glasses, you don't even you're not even using your hands anymore. You're using your eyes. I don't know. It's going to be weird. It's everything's changing. Stop being so stuffy. This is stuffy right here. I want to find this woman and slap her. Can I get a name and an address?
Dear Miss Manners, please advise your client to run.
Yeah.
Gentle reader, an excess of sensitivity would not be Miss Manners' diagnosis after you admitted to the sarcastic Barb. In the hope of preventing the next one, let her point out on a different method of communication. Carry with them that different points of communication, blah, blah, blah. Carry with them different expectations about brevity. While she agrees it would be unmannerly not to say hello to someone to whom you have just been introduced in a social setting, she would prefer to dispense with the prelude that, or when warning someone about a fast approaching car. Okay, got it. Text falls somewhere in between. So there you go.
Okay.
Moving on. Hey, Chubbs, where do you get your news?
I get it from, now I get it from streaming.
Oh, I get mine from David Pakman and a number of other shows like that. I also get the morning New York Times, New York Times, I think, newsletter.
Yeah, and I also, like if I see something on Twitter or Thread or Facebook, I always double check.
Yes, I would sometimes use the trending topics on Twitter.
Like when they go, oh my God, Harrison Ford has died. I'm like, no, he hasn't.
Yeah.
Let me look. Okay, no, he hasn't. You're wrong.
Hey Chubbs, do you believe in life on other planets?
I believe in life, maybe not life like ours, but yes, I think there's got to. I've always said it. There's got to be life on other planets. There's got to be some, maybe not on all planets, but there's got to be. There's no reason why we would be the only one that's became sufficient to form life and then to carry it through to this point. It's ridiculous to think, but that's, the religious people wanted to do that because if you thought there was aliens, then that makes God not so.
Yeah, maybe that's some question. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I do. Do you?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's ridiculous not to think that there is.
They just found on Venus a particular type of gas on Venus, but that gas is only made up of like deterioration of living material. That's how the gas is formed. So so they found that on Venus. So they're going, well, there's got to be some kind of life there because this gas is being made. And how is it being made? Don't know.
Yeah, I don't have any doubt. Okay. Well, I guess let's jump into what's in your lunchbox. I have a question for you. Are you using the new Threads app?
Yeah, but it's like nothing's happening. It's like it's just people like you who put just tons of shit on there, but I'm not seeing anything that's making me go back to go, oh, let's see what's interesting is happening. It's nothing interesting is happening.
Yeah, well, it's kind of
I know it's early. It's early.
And it's also a combination of like Instagram and Twitter. It's like you just have to kind of get on your feed and scroll and see what's there. So
yeah, and it's were you on day one?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I didn't even realize that it was day one. I just signed on to my Instagram and it said, "Do you want to set up your Threads app or something?" I was like, "Oh, okay, what's that?" And then boom.
Did you notice I was on before you?
No.
I was.
Well, there you go. You're
you accepted you followed me before I knew you were on. So
but it's weird because I mean, when you signed up, like when I signed up, it just says, "Do you want to use your profile?" And I said yes. And then it said, "Do you want to do your friends list and just accept everybody?" And I said yes, and that was it. So there you go. It was very intuitive and very interesting, easy to do. All right. Hey, what's in your lunchbox? Mr. Moose wrote in, as he does, and said, touch of fancy vanilla cake with buttercream frosting. Delicious. Also, coffee. Need coffee. Well,
wait, what was this again?
The cake?
Yeah.
That is a cake with buttercream, vanilla cake with buttercream frosting.
Okay.
It's amazing. It looks
like
a giant
it looks like a circus.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so fancy and colorful and it looks what I thought was it was two different sizes of donuts.
Huh.
And they decorated them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's nice. Okay. Looks good. I know that I'd have to go to the gym longer, after eating that.
Yeah. He ordered ordered a hazelnut latte, close enough to coffee.
Pretty.
Yep. Meat, pulled pork shoulder and brisket, slow smoked over cherry wood with green beans, slaw, and mac and cheese.
The mac and cheese, for once, really looks good. Because I'm not a big mac and cheese fan, but that looks really good. And the roll actually looks like the bottom of a Parker House roll, which I really love those rolls. And the only thing that I have to say no to is those canned green beans. I know, I think I've been seeing this used a lot lately. I think it's an East Coast thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. It's weird.
By the way, if you ever get really hungry, green beans are like 45 calories for the entire can.
Yeah, and that's because you usually vomit them up.
It's the 4th of July. While many are celebrating with cookouts featuring burgers and hot dogs, we are celebrating with pasta and a bolognese sauce with meat, pork, beef, and veal. Delicious.
Wow.
I know, right?
The big slices of Parmigiana.
Oh, is that what that was? Okay, I'm telling you, at first I was like, is that a hard sauce? Like, what is that?
Well, that's cheese.
Nice.
And what they do is they run it across usually it's like a mandolin. So it gets, shreds, kind of like they do with chocolate.
Yeah. Nice. All right. And then I wrote in and said, here's what I had yesterday. It's a mushroom burger with onion rings and a side of mayo.
That's from Pete's.
Yes.
How come you didn't? You should have flared your bun.
Okay.
Well, so we could see. Other than all we see is that beautiful bun and how it's grilled a little on the top. But I want to see what's inside.
Yeah, well, what's inside when I took that out of there was a big mess of mushroom sauce. It was really good, but it was a little too runny. It was kind of a mess to eat. So.
And is that ketchup and is that ranch?
No, that is a side of mayo.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I forgot.
Although if you look at the one onion ring, the little small one up in the left-hand corner, that is actually a piece of calamari.
What?
Yeah, that was set there. by Mr. Lurie.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it was good, a little chewy.
Yeah, I love calamari.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
funny because I was thinking, wow, that onion ring's just a little bit different from the other ones, but no, maybe it's because it's small. But yeah, that makes sense. Yum. Okay. And and the reason I know that is I've recognized the table.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we sat in the back corner by the bar, in the far corner next to the window.
That's where we sat too.
Oh, well, you know what they probably do is that's where they're sticking the gaze.
Yeah, they're like,
the gaze in the back window.
Put them back there.
Yeah.
So, Golden Rule Services want you to know about an important tool in preventing you from contracting HIV. PrEP is a medication proven to be 99% effective when preventing HIV infection. To learn more about PrEP, visit sacgrs.org. And you can find Tom's podcast at swannerandjudd.com. You can find my books at justkisstheguy.com. You can find all our links at allmylinks.com/ChubsGoneWild. And give us a call at
408-69 Chubs and be entered into our contest for Halloween.
Yay! Man, if we got phone calls, I'd give them 5 entries.
Ew, you touched yourself when you said that too.
What?
Did you touch yourself?
I'm always touching myself.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to.
Okay. Yeah.
All righty. So with that, thank you so much for joining us for episode 502. And now I'm going to go eat something because that's just how I roll.
I'm going to take a nap because I already went to the gym this morning.
Oh, skinny people. All right. We'll catch you later. Bye.
Bye.